Hey there, coaches. So today I want to talk to you about perfectionism and how to overcome perfectionism if it is slamming the brakes on your ability to get visible. So, for example, it might be that you've set aside some time to create a video, maybe 20 minutes, it's a short video, and yet 2 hours later, countless takes later, you've spent all this time on it and you're still not happy with it. Other ways that perfectionism shows up when it comes to being visible is that you may spend, weeks creating a piece of content, a sales page, a lead magnet, something like a meaty project, only to abandon it just before completion because you've changed course, or you decide that it's just not good enough, or you do complete it but you never actually promote it properly, again because you have this fear that it's not good enough. Maybe also you have a whole host of content and courses that you've created over a period of time, only for it to never see the light of day. So if any of this sounds familiar, then that sort of they are telltale signs of striving for perfection, which will leave you feeling frustrated, really overcritical, and disappointed in yourself, which is horrendous. Another thing that perfectionism can lead to is procrastination. Now, when we are striving for perfectionism, one of the things we want to avoid is the fear of not being perfect or the fear of failure. And so in order to avoid that fear, to avoid the feelings of disappointment, we don't start anything. So that's why we end up slamming the brakes again on our productivity, because of perfectionism. So it really is a no-win situation. It's also a false ideal, because especially in business, if we're striving to be perfect, we're kind of laboring under this false notion that at some lofty point we will be done. And that is a false ideal, that at some point we will achieve perfection, because what that does is it leaves absolutely no room for improvement and growth. And the truth is, we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving. And as there's a famous saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I know that as a coaching entrepreneur, you probably value personal development, you value growth and expansion. So today I have 5 quick tips for you, quick hacks to help you overcome this curse of perfectionism. There you go. So you can actually show up large and in charge, get visible, and grow your business. So tip number 1 is to practice presence. Now, practicing presence is about narrowing your attention and your awareness into whatever you are doing in that moment. So as you focus on the one activity in front of you and you give it all of your attention, you bring a higher quality of consciousness to the work. It's a very Zen-like state, and it does take some practice, but the more time you spend working in this still state of mind, the more creativity you access, the more inspiration you feel, and actually you get to enjoy the journey a lot more instead of constantly striving for that end result. So tip number 1 is to practice presence and mindfulness in the moment. Tip number 2 is to focus on your ideal client. Before you start any piece of work, before you hit go live or hit record on your video, before you sit down to work on anything for your in your business, tune in to your ideal client. This person is somebody who needs to hear from you, that they need your message, they need your wisdom, they want your expertise. And so when you share your video, your lead magnet, your email, when you write that article, it may be the thing that person, your ideal client, needs to hear today. So remember, they're dealing with their own shit. They're dealing with their pain. They don't care about your hair being out of place or the odd stutter on your video or the background. They don't care about any of that. They're in pain and they need you to show up with the solution. So tip number 3 for overcoming perfectionism is actually a practice I absolutely love, and this is to celebrate everything. Now, I share this practice with my clients. I get them. If I have a client who is struggling with perfectionism or has a chronic belief that I'm not doing enough, I get them to send me every single day a list of the things they've accomplished that day to celebrate. So it could be celebrating getting up without having to hit the snooze button once, celebrate posting on social media, celebrate cooking a meal, celebrate making a new connection on LinkedIn, celebrate emailing your list, celebrate tidying your desk, celebrate everything you do that day, the small ones, the big ones, it doesn't matter what size, but every day list 10 things that you can celebrate yourself for. And what this does is, this isn't about chasing perfection, it's about mastering the celebration of accomplishment, no matter the size, because in doing this, you're training the brain to get the hits from those smaller things. And what that does is that starts to kind of perpetuate an upward spiral of feeling good. Again, it's about enjoying the journey. But as you feel good, by virtue of the law of attraction, you attract more to feel good about. So again, it's an upward spiral of positivity. So celebrate everything. Write a list every single evening of those accomplishments and what you are grateful for. And again, that creates that dopamine hit in your brain to train it to start to feel good about everything that you accomplish. The fourth tip is to change your stories. Know that perfectionism is a way of thinking about yourself. It's a filter through which you view yourself. It's not a behavior. So it's a way of thinking about yourself. So understand that you can change your internal programming, your critical programming in a heartbeat, simply by raising awareness to what that inner critical voice is saying, and then switching your focus onto more life-affirming thoughts, more positive stories about yourself. As you do this, you start to create, again, that upward spiral, that positive sensation, that forward momentum into more creative thinking, more inspiration. It just improves the motion forward. And know that you're amazing. What you're doing is amazing work. You're here growing a business, looking to help other people, using your wisdom, your hard-earned wisdom, your hard-won knowledge to help other people. That is powerful. That is incredible. So you've got to fall in love with yourself, and do that by changing your stories. Okay, so the fifth tip, again, this was a game changer for me, and I've just called this ship, ship, ship. So this simple mind shift is so important, and I got this actually from Seth Godin, and I'm going to quote Seth Godin now. Seth Godin, in his book Linchpin, says, "Shipping isn't focused on producing a masterpiece. Picasso painted more than 1,000 paintings, and you can probably name only 3 of them." So what this means is focus on creating and shipping your work, whether that's publishing an article or selling your course or creating, producing a live on social media. Do it, ship it, drop all attachment to it, and come back to your desk and start again. So do it, ship it, come back, create. Do it, ship it, come back, create. If you keep doing that, you build that habit of constantly shipping work out there with no attachment to the outcome. It gets easier and easier and easier. And as you're doing that, your skills, your abilities improve through that practice. So they are my 5 tips. Just in quick summary, we talked about mastering presence power. So this is about becoming really present and mindful. We talked about focusing on your ideal client. This is when the spotlight is on you, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. Whereas when you turn your focus outward towards who you're here to help, that makes it much easier just to show up, knowing they don't care about the background or whether your hair is out of place or you haven't got your makeup on. None of that matters to your ideal client. The third tip is to celebrate everything you do, the small accomplishments, just celebrate them, train your brain in a whole new way. The fourth thing is to change your stories. Understand that it's just an inner critical voice. It's not a behavior that keeps you stuck, and that will enable you to create that momentum towards positivity and more self-love. And the fifth thing was to ship. So you're not here to create a masterpiece. You don't know which one of your pieces of work is going to be the thing that changes everything for your business. So you just continually build the habit by shipping, creating, shipping, creating. So I just want to end this by saying two things really. The first thing is that the irony of perfectionism is that it is ultimately self-defeating. You know, making mistakes and learning from them is part of being human. It's how we grow, it's how we get better at life, it's how we improve in business and in our relationships. And so, you know, it's really important to understand that we can fail forward, and, you know, there's no shame in that. So a couple of months ago, I just want to share this quick story. A couple of months ago, I joined a comedy improvisation group, and we've already done a couple of live shows with real audiences, which is really scary. But one of the many lessons that I have taken away from the experience of being in an improvisation group is that when you step out onto stage, you have to commit to whatever you are doing and follow through on that commitment wholeheartedly. Because when you do that, that's where the magic happens. And if it fails, it doesn't matter. You fail forward. And again, that is where the magic happens every single time. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. Just, you know, show up, enjoy the journey. This is about you helping other people, getting your knowledge, your wisdom, your talents out there. Get passionate about what you do, and that will help you to overcome perfectionism. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.